So, if you have any kind of website today, whether you're a business owner, a startup developer, or anyone building on the web, right? The one thing you possibly want in the world of AI agents is your website to be agent ready. You want agents to be able to come to your site and actually do things. For example, search your products, submit requests, or manage tickets without struggling. Now, one way to do that is you build your own MCP server. You set it up, you tell your users, hey, connect to my MCP server, and your agent can then interact with my website. And that's great if you are a well known platform like a Stripe or a GitHub. But can we be real for a second? Let's say that I am Surya.com, right? Nobody really knows me. Why would anyone take the pain to go install the Surya MCP server, configure it in their agent just to use my website? They're not going to do that. And that's where most websites are today, which are expecting agents to take action on them. And that's exactly what Web MCP solves. But before I explain what Web MCP is, let me show you the absolute current situation without MCP on how AI agents are actually solving this today. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so this is a simple IT support hub, sort of an application that I asked Antigravity to build for me, right? So build an IT support ticket dashboard. This is a design, drop down, etc. And what it really does is it has the capability for you to go ahead and create a new ticket. You can provide a description, priority, etc., and then you can assign it to individuals. You also have the capability to escalate, and you can also filter based on the status of the ticket. Okay. Now, one way for an AI agent to interact with this particular website would be if this had an MCP server. So let's say that it doesn't, okay, which is the case with most of the websites. So the other way would be to use vision models. So for example, here, this is Gemini 2.5 computer use. And you can see the process that they have described, right? So the model, you will send the request to the model, and then it will take a screenshot and then previous context, and it will continue to iterate on this till it is able to take an action. For example, here, if I have to ask it to add a ticket, then it is going to first take a screenshot, figure out where exactly to put the ticket, and submit a request. Where is that exact button and stuff like that, right? So it will do the job, or it will be able to do the job, but it is going to be time consuming. Now, what I want to show you is if we use Antigravity, there is a built-in browser agent which should be able to do pretty much the same job. So I'm just going to give this particular prompt to it, right? Use the browser agent, navigate to this particular local host, and then create a new ticket with this particular title, right? So we will actually see this in action on how anti-gravity is able to exactly do that. So right now, the agent is running, and you will see, how it is able to figure out what to type and where to type. But then the way it is going to be doing is it is actually taking multiple screenshots, and creating and assigning that ticket. So you can actually see here what it is trying to do, right? So it has now submitted the button as well. So here, I think it has submitted. But you can see that it is continuously recording. You can see the getting DOM. And now it has moved to the assignee page, and it is going to do a scroll down and stuff like that, right? So I think it is doing a wonderful job, but the way it is doing this is for every little instance, it has to figure out what is the right process. The next thing that I've asked it to do is I've asked it to escalate. So it is trying to find where it is, and then it'll hit on the escalate button. It's able to do it again, like you can see that it is taking the screenshots and stuff like that, right? So multiple screenshots for a little escalate button. Now, of course, it is a fantastic thing that we are able to automate something like this, but keep in mind that this is also burning a lot of your tokens, and of course, it is taking a lot of your time. Only if there was a better way to do this. So it has done its job, and it is now doing a render, but you are able to see that it has escalated this already, which is what we were looking for. So now it is going to come back and provide us a full summary, and it has done all of that, and is also generating the recording. All of this is fantastic, right? All of this is like great. This was obviously not at all possible before. But what I'm trying to explain here is this may not be the most optimal way to solve for this, right? And that is where WebMCP changes the game. It makes your website agent enabled. So in the next few minutes, what I'm going to do is show exactly how to change this very particular website to a WebMCP enabled website. And then we will exactly do the same action via an agent and see how it behaves. All right. So please stay tuned. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to make our current website MCP enabled. So for that, I'm going to give this particular prompt here, which is basically asking Antigravity to make this particular one Web MCP enabled. So while it is doing the job, I want to show you what I already have, right? So this is the Web MCP enabled portal. You can already see that I've got this distinction over here. And then this is the model context tool inspector, which I will again share the link for you to download. Now think of this as an agent, which, via which you can have the conversation. And the idea is for each one of the functions, right? You are declaring this that to any of the agent, that, hey, agent, these are all the functions that I have available, right? All right. So think of this as a AI agent having a conversation with your website, right? So what I'm going to do is ask the same question. Create a new ticket with title Surya's phone battery draining fast, description this, need a hardware check, high priority, and assign it to this particular person, right? So I'm going to click on this and you will see that immediately it was able to create this in a very, very quick amount of time, basically a fraction of seconds or milliseconds. And that is what changes. When your website is Web MCP enabled, you're able to do that as well. You can also like just have a conversation. So if I say create a ticket, we can see that it's asking create a ticket. I can help you with that. Would you like the title, description, live demo, and assign priority low and assign it to anyone, right? So I've asked it to do, and you can see that it has done its job, right? So you're able to see the amount of time as well as the short amount of tokens it took for it to actually take the action. This is Web MCP for you. We have made our website Web MCP enabled. So in the next few minutes, I will explain you how you can make your website Web MCP enabled. What are the few things that you need to take care of? And most importantly, how you can use Antigravity in order to help you make your website Web MCP enabled. Because the whole idea is taking advantage of these vibe coding tools. All right. So please stay tuned. So what is Web MCP? Google and Microsoft built this as a W3C standard. And the idea is actually really simple. Think of it this way. There is regular MCP, backend server, Python, Node, separate code base, separate auth. Works great if you're a company like Stripe or GitHub or someone very well known, but nobody's installing the Surya MCP server, right? And then B, there's what we just saw, browser automation, screenshots, DOM scraping. The agent guesses what to click. It works, but it's slow, it burns tokens, and it's non-deterministic. And the third one is Web MCP. Your website tells the agent what it can do, structured tools, defined schemas, no separate server, no screenshots. The agent lands on your page and the tools are just there. And the best part is the tools are contextual. Different pages exposes different tools. The agent only sees what's relevant right now on this page. All right, so let me quickly tell you what are the different things that you need to have in order for you to try it yourself. Number one is Chrome Canary. Web MCP requires Chrome 146 version and above. I'm hoping that WebMCP will automatically be enabled in the global Chrome. But for the moment, if you want to try it out, you will have to install Chrome Canary. So once you do that, then you will need to go to Chrome flags and you can search for WebMCP. And you will see that this is the WebMCP, which is available as experiment. So of course, in order for me to show you the demo, I had enabled it. So this is the first thing that you will need to do. The other thing that you will need to also do is to install the Model Tool Inspector extension. So you can search for Model Context Tool Inspector extension, and you will be able to download it directly from this particular web store. So once you install this, then, you will be able to actually have this extension over here, right? So you open this and you are able to have the interaction. So these are the two things that you absolutely need to have in order for you to give it a try. Okay. So I will obviously share the links in the description. One is Chrome Canary, download that. And then the other one is the Web MCP Model Context Tool Inspector. Now, the other thing that is super critical is the GitHub repository for the Web MCP tools. You can also see that the Web MCP Context Tool Inspector is also available here. And they have also created a very nice demo, which is the Travel Web MCP demo as well. So you can actually give it a shot for you to understand it. And this is another really interesting blog post, which you can go ahead and read through it. It will really help you to understand the difference between declarative and imperative API and some of the use cases that they have mentioned. Some of the really good resources that you should be able to use are, again, the Canary download, the Model Context Protocol, the GitHub repository, and then this particular blog post that helps you to understand this better. Okay. So those were the resources. Now, the next thing that I wanted to show was how did I actually convert the existing website into a Web MCP enabled website? So I literally typed a prompt like this where I said, make it Web MCP enabled. I told it Web MCP Chrome is an API that lets you register tools for AI agents, register my existing functions as tools using navigator.model context.register tool, and then add declarative attributes to my form. And I obviously, as I was showing you guys, I had this basic symbol so that it was easy for me to differentiate. Now you can see here, this is the before folder. And if I close this and close this, if I look at the ticket manager.js, these are all the functions that I have, right? So function get all tickets, function filter tickets and stuff like that. So what it really did was it registered all of my functions as Web MCP tools, right? So each tool has a name, a description, an input schema, and an execute function. So you can see over here. And this was all completely generated by Antigravity. And that's the idea, right? I exactly knew what I need to ask and then was able to leverage the documentation of Web MCP and was able to create this automatically, right? So the core, really the core idea is you are basically registering all of your existing functions as MCP web tools, right? So it becomes tools for the AI agents to interact. So it's basically the standard definition of MCP. So that's what I really did. And you were able to see the demo in action, right? So I would highly encourage you guys to give this a shot. I think the easiest way, the way I learned about this was I actually went into some of the demos over here and it actually helped me to figure out what is the easiest way to do it. They actually have created a live demo over here. If I open this up, I can actually have a conversation here. So just the way we worked on our IT dashboard, you can actually see the running demo here. This is live on a public URL. And then I would recommend you go through some of the stuff that is on the blog post as well, so that you can get an understanding of declarative and imperative API, etc. But then this is going to definitely become super, super critical as we continue to move really fast towards the AI agents era. Okay. So most of the websites will probably adapt to this because this is available right now in the Chrome Canary version, but I'm assuming this will be there in the main version whenever Chrome decides to do it. So that was what I wanted to cover today. I hope this was interesting and this added value. Please, as always, let me know if you guys have any questions in the comment section. I'll always be happy to respond as much as I can and as much as I understand and I know. Please do note that these are views which are my own and do not belong to my employer. And I'm also learning and sharing as you guys are. So hopefully this has been an interesting journey so far. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.